Diddy allegedly has jail groupies fighting for the chance to make his bed. Jessica Bennett. Sean Diddy Combs may have given up his lavish lifestyle while being detained at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, but the mogul allegedly still has groupies willing to take care of his every need. According to author and journalist Torre, the Bad Boy founder's presence at the notorious jail has led to inmates fighting over who can do special things for Diddy, including making his bed. According to someone who was in the unit that Diddy is in not long ago, there are groupies among the inmates who want to do special things for Diddy and might even get jealous of another man who gets to make his bed or do other special, nice things for Diddy. He then shares info detailed by reporter Lisa Evers, saying Diddy is not in a traditional jail cell, but in a dorm along with 20 other men with high-profile cases. This is not a dangerous part of the prison, the insider reportedly told Evers, adding, everyone's chillin'. The insider also claimed that Diddy tries to keep the vibes positive, often looking inmates in the eye and telling them to smile more. In addition to being treated like royalty, by jail standards anyway, Combs is being accused of attempting to obstruct justice from behind bars, with prosecutors alleging he has attempted to reach out to potential witnesses to influence public opinion on his case. The defendant has shown repeatedly, even while in custody, that he will flagrantly and repeatedly flout rules in order to improperly impact the outcome of his case. The defendant has shown, in other words, that he cannot be trusted to abide by rules or conditions, the legal document read. The defendant's efforts to obstruct the integrity of this proceeding also includes relentless efforts to contact potential witnesses, including victims of his abuse who could provide powerful testimony against him, prosecutors added. Diddy was arrested in September on charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. A trial date has been set for May 2025. Judge rules in favor of Diddy after feds raided his jail cell. In a victory for Diddy, federal judge Arun Subramanian ruled that he would not take into account information gathered during a search of the rapper's jail cell at his next bail hearing. According to People magazine, Subramanian also ordered the prosecution to destroy its copies of the 19 pages of notes obtained after the pre-planned Bureau of Prison sweep. The emergency hearing was called after prosecutors claimed in a Monday night filing that Combs' attorney-client privilege had been breached. The rapper's lawyers, led by attorney Mark Agnifilo, also demanded a hearing immediately regarding the search and seizure of materials from Diddy's cell. They requested to know who authorized a search of Diddy's cell, who determined what materials to take, who decided to give these materials to the U.S. Attorney's Office, who decided to give the materials to the trial prosecutors, who decided not to tell Diddy about the seizure, and what exactly was taken. Diddy appeared in court for the emergency hearing on Tuesday without shackles. The rapper, who was dressed in khaki, reportedly hugged his attorneys on meeting them. After the prosecution's claim that Diddy breached attorney-client privilege, his attorney retorted in a counterclaim, calling the sweep an outrageous government conduct and a due process violation. They added that the seizures contained notes Diddy had written to them concerning defense strategies. When we visit him in jail, we have lists, Diddy's lawyer Mark Agnifilo said, per People. Everything in these pads are things we discuss. Trial strategy, who we should speak to undermine a witness's credibility. We discuss everything with Mr. Combs. Diddy's lawyers asked for him to remain unshackled. The notes seized from Diddy appear to contain nothing implicatory his assistant U.S. Attorney Christy Slavic said they were mostly related to personal matters, including birthdays and inspirational quotes. Slavic also emphasized during the hearing that the investigation is very much ongoing. Meanwhile, Diddy's lawyers filed a separate defense filing requesting that the "Finna Get Loose" rapper appear in court unshackled for all future court appearances. According to People, they argued that his continuous appearance in shackles could potentially create juror bias, given the amount of press coverage the proceedings have received. Subramanian also granted the request prior to Tuesday's hearing. Prosecutors claim the rapper is blackmailing witnesses. Prosecutors recently accused the Bad Boy Records founder of leading a campaign to blackmail witnesses and influence potential jurors from his prison cell, urging the judge not to grant him bail. The claims come after Diddy filed for another bail hearing, having been denied pre-trial release twice before. Prosecutors claim he has made relentless efforts to contact potential witnesses, including victims of his abuse who could provide powerful testimony against him, per People. He's accused of using phone access codes of other inmates to contact several people from jail and has made three-way calls to contact other individuals. Prosecutors maintained that the call provides the clear inference that the defendant's goal is to blackmail victims and witnesses either into silence or providing testimony helpful to his defense. Diddy was accused of using a public relations strategy to alter public perception. Diddy has been locked behind bars at the Brooklyn MDC and faces charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Ever since he was arrested in September, he has faced a barrage of accusations and allegations from several quarters, including Texas-based attorney Tony Busby, who's representing 120 individuals who he allegedly abused. Prosecutors have now accused him of starting a public relations strategy that would use public statements to alter public perception. According to Page 6, they claimed that Diddy's recent birthday celebration, which saw his kids take to their respective social media to celebrate him, was one of such public relations strategies. At the defendant's carefully curated direction, the defendant's children posted a video to their respective social media accounts showing the defendant's children gathered to celebrate the defendant's birthday, prosecutors noted. They said Diddy monitored the analytics and audience engagement and explicitly discussed with his family how to ensure that the video had his desired effect on potential jury members in this case, per People. Prosecutors argue that with this kind of interference with a fair trial, the defendant's own words make clear that his intent is to improperly influence the jury pool in this criminal proceeding. Judge asks if Diddy retroactively wrote legal on his jail notes to implicate sex trafficking prosecutors. Laura Italiano. The judge in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking case is demanding answers for an apparent discrepancy concerning handwritten notes from the rap mogul's Brooklyn jail cell. The jailhouse notes, which prosecutors allege show Combs attempted to pay witnesses, have been a point of heated contention this week. At a hearing in federal court in Manhattan on Tuesday, defense lawyers argued that Combs' white, cardboard-bound legal pads, photographed last month during a Bureau of Prisons raid, had the word legal clearly handwritten on their top binders. Prosecutors' possession of these photographs, despite this clear warning, may warrant dismissal of the entire case due to attorney-client privilege violations, Combs' lawyer Mark Agnifilo had argued, gesturing to the actual notepads on the defense table before him. Addressing the judge in response, Assistant U.S. Attorney Christy Slavic said the material is not privileged, adding, "It's not clear when that legal label was attached." Now Combs, Judge, U.S. District Court Justice Arun Subramanian, who has been doing some sleuthing into the matter on his own, is weighing in. At the November 19, 2024 hearing, defense counsel presented the court with an intact legal pad with legal written on the binding, stating that the legal label on this and the other pads showed that they were clearly protected by attorney-client privilege and should not be in the government's possession, the judge wrote in an order late Wednesday night. The court notes that the sealed exhibit to the government's brief at DKT 72-1 includes photographs of two intact legal pads taken at the time of the BOP sweep. There is no writing on the binding of either pad, the judge wrote. The parties have a bail hearing already scheduled for Friday, and at that hearing, the defense should be prepared to give the court further context on the legal label that the court was presented with at the November 19, 2024 hearing. The defense must also address why this label doesn't appear on the photographs in the court's possession, and why it wasn't addressed in defendant's submission to the court made a few hours before the November 19, 2024 hearing, the judge wrote. A lawyer for Combs declined to comment Thursday morning. Combs has pleaded not guilty to a federal indictment alleging he engaged in a long pattern of sexual and physical violence against women, including during elaborate, days-long sex parties known as freak-offs. He has insisted through his lawyers that the sexual conduct in the indictment was consensual and that his accusers have financial incentive to implicate him. A spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney's Office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. On Tuesday, Slavic said Combs' jailhouse notes are evidence in an ongoing grand jury investigation into potential obstruction of justice charges. The notes, part of a to-do list, include references to the defendant paying a potential witness to, quote, find dirt on a potential victim, Slavic told the judge. The notes also include Combs' alleged plan for following up with a paralegal to determine if a witness was paid off or not, she said.
Sean Diddy Combs, currently held at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, is reportedly receiving significant attention from fellow inmates in his dorm. According to sources, some inmates have become groupies, competing to perform tasks for him, such as making his bed. He resides in a dormitory with around 20 other men, all with high-profile cases, in a calmer section of the facility. Despite the circumstances, Diddy is said to maintain a positive demeanor, encouraging others to stay in good spirits and even engaging in recreational activities like basketball A. Reports about Sean Diddy Combs' time in detention at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center describe an unusual dynamic. According to sources, some inmates in his dormitory, housing around 20 individuals with high-profile cases, are vying for his attention by doing small favors, such as competing to make his bed. This behavior has led to what insiders call jealousy and groupie-like rivalries among inmates. Journalist Tour and a former inmate from the same unit revealed these details. They added that Diddy keeps a positive presence, often boosting morale and encouraging smiles. His section of the facility is reportedly not one of the more dangerous areas, and the atmosphere is described as relatively relaxed. Regarding Diddy's interactions with inmates, sources suggest that he's maintained a relatively positive and engaging attitude during his time in jail. He is said to actively engage with others, offering encouragement and keeping spirits high. He reportedly moves around the dorm, telling inmates to smile and making an effort to connect with them. There have been no reports suggesting that Diddy is romantically involved with any of the other inmates. The attention he gets appears to be more about admiration and a desire to serve him in small ways, like making his bed, rather than any personal or romantic relationships. It appears that Sean Diddy Combs is embroiled in a series of serious allegations during his incarceration, including accusations of using inmates' phone privileges for secretive communications. Federal prosecutors claim that Diddy has been paying fellow inmates for their personal access codes, PACs, allowing him to make unmonitored phone calls. Additionally, Diddy is accused of using third-party encrypted messaging services to communicate covertly. These actions are part of a broader pattern of alleged misconduct, which prosecutors argue demonstrates his disregard for legal restrictions while incarcerated. This has contributed to concerns about his risk of tampering with the case or witnesses. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and leave a comment below. See you next time.